Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the 13th Fleet After Action Report. Today, we are going to be focused on the Rebellion in the Rim campaign. We've got a lot to talk about, not only with what has happened, but what is going to happen in the next few days. So, I have brought the crew along. We do have Ruben coming along here in a little bit, but right now we do have Nick and Garrett with us. So I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. How's it going? And we do have the map up so you guys can see the battles. I've asked Garrett to kind of guide us along because he seems to do a pretty good job of pointing us in the right direction on what to talk about. So what do you want to start with? Yeah. No, no, no. Yeah.
Hey, he's got these close range ships. He's gonna just try to camp on that token. And so he tried to roll his victory in Gladiator in a way that everything would kind of converge on the token in the same time.
I'm going to have to apologize here for just a moment. It looks like the audio was out on that introduction here. So, what we were talking about, the first round of attacks, the Empire made an assault on Mon Cal with Sean and Ethan's fleet going up against Jason's fleet.
That's correct. So, for anybody who missed it, it was a Victory and Demolisher versus a double MC-30 fleet, and then they chose Recruit Allies, which is a campaign objective, one of the green ones. Um, Sorry, and then, anyways, Nick was explaining a little bit, summarizing a little bit what happened in the battle.
Yeah. So right. So Jason kind of rolled forward with his fleet, staying close to the recruit allies token, kind of keeping them all together. And then when Sean kind of tried to come in, they kind of traded blows a little bit. Sean's Gazanti got blown up pretty quickly, and Jason was able to secure the allies token because Sean just didn't. The victory's just not fast enough to get in position. You have to. You look at competing command values at distance one of the token, and so Jason got the extra. I think it was a YT 2400. It was just a couple like rogues, and so he got the extra firepower in there, which helped him bomb the gladiator down. And so, Sean tried. He hit everything as hard as he could, but he just couldn't get damage to stick on like the MC-30s, and then they just flew away. And then all the A-wings and rogues just bombed the gladiator. So it ended up being a kind of a trade. Like he lost his gladiator. I think he got half hull on one of the MC-30s and killed the GR-75 or something. But it was a rebel victory.
Based
Yeah.
on based on my experience against those MC-30s, those things are made out of Teflon.
They're
Yeah.
slippery.
It's
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, double evade, double redirect.
You
It's
you
hard
just
to
can't get
take damage.
anything to stick on that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So and that's
Um,
what happened was he couldn't confirm a kill, and so they flew off, and he had to fly away, and he lost his gladiator, and that was basically the game.
so that left us with Rebel presence on Moncala,
Mm-hmm.
which is okay. Uh, but most importantly, we stopped you from getting a repair yards token. In case anybody was following the campaign and like how these things work, we were trying to keep them from getting repair yards because the Empire can trade them in with resources to get a very nasty prototype ship in a pivotal. So anyways, after that was declared, the rebels declared their first attack, and it was Ruben directing an assault on Ryloth that he led with his
Going for
fleet,
it.
the assault frigate fleet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what objective did you guys pick for that?
We played. It was
You remember it, Ruben?
Holonet Overrun,
Yeah.
right? Okay. It's
It
been
was-
a while.
It was pretty fun.
So I got to deal with proximity mines and an arc of the obstacles because
Yes. Oh,
Nick got
so
to put
Nick,
down all the objectives.
Nick
And it
was
was-
the defender.
it
So
was
it was
me,
the
yeah.
interdictor fleet with the vortex.
Yes.
Vortex.
The scary interdictor fleet. And the
Scary.
last game, game before this in the campaign, I played Super KG as like defensive, right? And then the dice came up a little short, a little weird, and it ended up a 0-0. And because I'm the attacker in this game, I have to play much more aggressively into Nick's fleet because I need to win, right? I'm trying to take Ryloth from the team. If you're attacking, like in my opinion, if you're the attacker, you need to play pretty aggressively in these.
You had
especially
no
green
squadrons.
objectives. Yeah, no squads. We don't need squads. Squads are for chubs.
But the Empire fleet does have TIE defenders and a
Yeah.
Bolt Scares, right?
Volt and Valen?
And Valen Rudor was in that
And
game.
Valen. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, two die defenders.
Good thing I didn't bring any squads, because let me tell you, they would be dead. Like so dead. So the beginning of our game was really tight. Obviously, you can watch everything on stream. My deployment was very much like Nick deploys with speed 1, going for the station. I'm like, okay, I have to put myself in a position where we can aggress on the enemy, but be at the right length wise to get a couple of turns before I really start taking the black dice from Demolisher. Gladiator 1.
Gladiator
They're
2.
all Demolisher.
Gladiator
2.
2.
They're all Demolisher. Same thing. Everything. Haunts my nightmares. So Nick puts his proximity mine like on an obstacle, giving it obstruction, because that's how it works, right? You shoot at them like they're squadrons. But he puts it a little far forward, and I'm able to flak with my assault frigate to then clear it on the first turn, which gives me a bunch of lateral space to move to make to really set a kill box for his fleet. Because basically at the deployment of the game, I knew we were gonna like do some tabling. It was gonna be a hell of a knife fight and a very close game. I was hoping that I didn't really expect to shoot one thing and then fly away because of this station, you can just sit there and like hoover up a whole bunch of points with how small these ships are value wise. And also, I just wanted
from the
to kill
objective.
from the objective. I also just wanted to kill the interdictor because die. I didn't kill
You
anything
don't
the
need
game
a
before.
reason to want to kill something. You just go in. Hey,
I had like 3 squadrons fly away from me and a flotilla go by the week before. So I was like, you know what? I need thirst for blood. So,
I'm sorry to have disappointed you.
weirdly in our mid game, so we're like, the most annoying part of this game was like we're sitting here playing this sweaty, intense game on stream that's really technical and really close, and all these people are just talking to us. And it just like it distracts the hell out of both of us. Unfortunately for Nick, he missed a
Yeah.
couple of triggers that may have
I
like,
missed the really big.
Oh yeah, you had some people who hadn't seen the game before coming over and wanting to know more about it.
They're
Right?
asking questions.
Yeah,
They wanted
right.
us to know what ships were doing, and I was like,
Suffering from
And-
success.
"So what
yeah, no
happened?"
kidding.
The biggest thing that happened was that when you hit me with that CR90 on my interdictor, I had a red brace token and no shields, and I said, "Do I take 5 damage and go to 2 hull and save my brace token, or do I burn the brace token and go to 4 hull, but then like next turn, maybe get some shields and like fly away?" So I decided to burn the brace token. went to 4 hull, and then next turn, like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, you said, "I thought you were a 2 hull," and I said, "Oh yeah, you're right," and took 2 more damage. Because I completely forgot that I had burnt my brace token to reduce that damage. So I ended up taking the damage anyway by my own, like, bookkeeping error, and then also didn't have a brace token.
Ooh, so you burnt the brace, but also
And then
Okay.
and then
All the damage.
retroactively went, "Oh, you're right," because I had mentally been like, I'd be at 2 hull, and I made that like connection.
yeah.
So then later when because Rue and I were talking about it, like, he was like, "Do you go to 2?" Like we were like, I was like, I can go to 2. I burned the brace, blah blah blah. And so he was just like,
And we had
"Did you
like
go?"
5 people talk to us in that time when Nick was
Yeah.
trying to make that decision. It was
So then when he
wild.
like the next turn he was getting ready to shoot me, and he's like, he's like, "Weren't you at 7 damage?" And I was like, I looked at my damage cards. I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right." And I just took 2 damage off top to fix it.
Interesting.
And and it was like there was another whole turn after that, so it's really impossible to go back and say like what could have happened. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
yeah,
is.
it was rough. Immediately after like the game, I was like, "Wait a second."
Now, because the only thing
Yeah.
that survived was the CR90 on the Rebel side, right?
Yeah.
think the Hammerhead had
Hammerhead flew away and 90
it
made it.
had damage on it, but it flew away.
It had like 1 damage on it, and it just burned out at speed 3. I did so good to like float behind the pork chop with the Hammerhead, and then just jump in, and then drop the whole racks
X-racks
and everything, and then just burn out the side. And then the 90 came in through the back, and like, just sat there and shot. And oh man, when that thing gets fully loaded, oh, you guys just wait. You just wait until that CR90 is coming for you. It's gonna be nasty.
Well, and it was a great. I think my best play on that was dropping Gladiator with a double arc right in front of your assault frigate,
Oh, that
and
was so
it locked you on the debris field. So when you rammed into me, you landed on the debris field.
It sucked. It was
Yeah.
four shield damage. I was like,
That's what happened to the assault frigate, basically.
Yeah. It just got
it sat there and like soaked it all and traded so that the smalls could eventually pick up what was left. So basically, there was nothing left for anybody.
It was, and I had all the station tokens, so it was like you had to kill everything in order to even get a win.
Mhm.
Wow.
I mean,
So,
this
Nick,
is sounding like a brutal round, you know?
It was,
Yeah,
it was
it was
intense.
I'm curious, Nick. How did the fighters perform? Did you get any good damage from your defenders?
I did actually. It helped a bit because I was able because the assault frigate couldn't really move. I put everything right in his front hull, so he couldn't flak and shoot.
Yeah, we had
but
that
then, like-
time where I went to speed 3 with the frigate like this, and like I put like the ship down, and of course we've got Parrot like right beside us because we can't play a game in peace to this day. So everybody's talking to us, right? And like the assault frigate goes corner to corner with the demolisher on its back edge, and we're both like, "Did it move?" Whoa, I don't know. And I was like, "Do you just want to roll a blue die and we'll just..."
50-50.
it's a
Do we
thing.
put it back, or let it sit?
And in the end, I got like what 3 or 4 damage on your Gladiator 2 just by overlaps.
Just like
And
a
then
ramming,
came in-
yeah. Because I rammed
they
you, I
came in and
think.
went, "Pow, pow."
But yeah, the defenders did a lot. Volt scares because I wasn't commanding him. He didn't really do anything because he can't attack.
Is he
In
can't
this-
attack squadrons or can't attack?
It says cannot. It
period?
says cannot attack.
Interesting.
Ow.
Yeah, which is I was like that kind of sucks. But and then Valen throws a blue non-bomber. So really, it was the defenders throwing their blue bomb. I mean, I did 4 or 5 damage, I think, to the assault frigate by the time I killed it, just with the bomber sitting there.
Yeah, something like that.
Because they were
Um,
consistent. I didn't roll like any accuracies. It was all just like 1-1, 1-1, 1-1.
Mhm, mhm.
Interesting. Well, all right. So, anyways, the outcome of the battle was a rebel win, and that established presence on Ryloth. What token did we take from that, Ruben? Skilled spacers or diplomats? Skilled spacers.
Skilled spacers.
And then you guys played a green objective, so that opens up some fancy
I-
weapons team.
I called
unique-
up some of my friends that were hanging out on Ryloth. It's gonna get nasty.
Yeah.
I think the Empire elected to give me the base upgrade, and let's just say the weapons
I
facility.
wonder
Let's just
why.
say the experimental facilities on Endor were working overtime.
Yeah, this is getting out of hand. We got to find this Ma installation he's getting all the stuff from. But anyways, after that, we did our third battle, and this was another Imperial assault, and it was on Concord Dawn, led by
Yep.
the illustrious Chris.
The
and his
Grim
fleet.
Battle Group.
Yes, and I was sent
And
to
it was a
defend,
grim evening.
and it was a brutal fight.
It was after the incident with the 0-0 loss. I decided that I was going to be a bit more aggressive, and I think it kind of showed.
Yes. So we played Pilot Defection, and you chose 3 Z95s to join my fleet, where one of them deflects to your side.
Because I was stupid, and somebody reminded me later, well, you can make 2 of them Z95s and one something really nice so that, when they do turn... But, the other thought is that makes it really obvious what you're going to have turn.
Yes. So I was second player for that battle, which was pretty rough. Watching actually Chris would go with his ISD first. At these small games, an ISD 2 is terrifying, and I was really relying on just a lot of luck of him not getting the appropriate accuracies to ruin my life.
And damn your bombers. Damn your bombers.
Yeah. So first off, I want to say I had a lot of squadrons because I had the 3 Z95s at the beginning, and Chris had his squadron ball, which is 2 TIEs, 2 bombers, and a TIE advance, right?
Yeah.
And so I throw all 3 Z95s at his ball to lock it up. And then basically that's where the first half of the battle is just our squadrons duking it out.
I have never rolled so many accuracies.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This game, the dice were with me. I was just rolling good. But I also had an overwhelming amount of firepower coming too, because his TIE bombers, and this sucked. Chris, you forgot to use flight controllers, and I forgot you had flight controllers, which would have been big, because his bombers would have been blue-black instead of just black. And his TIE fighters would have rolled 5 dice or 4 dice.
4 blue, and the advance would have rolled 4 blue. And I mean, it would have been one round where it made a difference, but
yeah,
the big thing is that I was really, really trying to get rid of one of the headhunters so that I could move, because of the way that they were positioned. I actually had a little bit of freedom of movement if I could get rid of that one, but then my dice kept on coming up accuracies.
Yeah, or crits. So we resolved the squadron battle basically, and Chris had a TIE bomber limp away, and then at that point, he's got an ISD 2 on full health, and it's time to get to work on this thing. And I fly my CR90 around to try and flank, and then I've got my MC30 and my GR75. I will fully admit I'm still learning my Rebel flying metrics. I got my MC30 where I wanted it, where it was trying to double that ISD, but my GR75 flew way too close to the sun. And Chris had a Gazanti that was also perpendicular to his ISD, and we were all 4 of our ships were stuck basically in a logjam. But a lot of bombing, a lot of dice rolls.
And then I made the stupid mistake of trying to save the Gazanti and going with that first rather than going ahead and eliminating the MC30.
Yeah, there was a pivotal moment where he's first player and he decides to jump his Gozer at speed 3 over his ISD to try and save it. But I make the decision to just blow my side arc out from my MC30 and take out the Gazanti to guarantee it dies. And then just shoot the ISD, because he had reactive gunnery on his ISD. And at that point, he had hit my MC30 twice. And so I'd use advanced projectors to move all of the damage to the back and sides. So I'm limping on like a shield at this point. And so he eventually does. He gets both the GR75 and the MC30. But man, my bombers were just. It was.
Hit crit.
I have
Hit crit.
2 scourges, and my scourges were hitting crit with a double black each time. And that was after my bomber command center got destroyed. I didn't even need rerolls. So that means my next game, though, is not going to be friendly statistically. So we'll see. But at the end, all I had left was my fighter wing and my CR90 as well. So it was another just knife fight as well.
But you did take down the ISD.
I did take it down, and it was a lot of work. It was like 3 straight rounds of bombing heavily.
Yeah.
All 5 bombers. X-Wings,
Interesting.
Hera, and Scourges. But, so we managed to defend it as Rebels and a Presence. But now we get to the penultimate battle of the week that we had to wait a week for because
Yeah.
one of our Rebel commanders was feeling ill and he needed back to treatment. Jeff. So anyways, the Rebels decided to assault Mandalore, which is big because the Empire, to defend it, would have to take low fuel condition if they didn't have ready defender. And so Chris, the ISB fleet, is the defender.
No,
And-
Nick was the
Nick.
one that, yeah.
Parrot.
P.
Nick
I'm
Parrot.
sorry, I meant to say Parrot. Nick with his ISB fleet. And so he's second player, Jeff is first player, and Mandalore has recruit allies as well. And so Chris witnessed the battle firsthand.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell us about it?
Nick really, really did a great job of keeping obstacles between himself and Jeff, and really made the most of his concealment ability in order
Yeah.
to prevent damage from really, really getting through.
And concealment, just so everyone knows, is you can discard a defense token when you're at distance like 2 of an obstacle and cancel a die.
Yeah. The other thing is that I think Jeff came in a little bit tentatively, and because of that, it let Nick hover around the objective in order to get the squads when the time came. And so Nick was able to get the squads and then tie up Jeff's squads and did a really good job of just whittling away the squads and then playing keep away. Now Jeff did a really good job of trying to hammer the flagship there and did get it down to half health. Came very close to killing it, but because of that concealment, he was able to burn a token and get rid of one of the die and therefore survived the encounter.
Yeah, got rid of a double. It was huge.
Ooh.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, it was it was fun to watch. I enjoyed it tremendously, and I'm not one that normally likes to just sit down and watch games. This was a good one, and if you haven't seen it already, you can catch it on YouTube. It is definitely worth watching.
Yeah, it was a big tactical win for Parrot's ISB fleet, and huge consequences for the campaign. So not only do they get 2 campaign points for winning that, they get the base at Mandalore because the Empire has resources for days,
Yep.
and then which is big. So now they're in Sector 1, and they have access to a repair yard token. But not till after, because they defended, they don't get it immediately. So they didn't get to finish their secret projects on time for our pivotal battle, which is our next battle. Is that correct?
Well,
No. Well,
we,
yes and no. So one thing that we can't do a pivotal battle on Thursday. It's just going to take too long.
What I
And-
meant is the next campaign battle.
Yes,
is
yes.
pivotal.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, let everybody know what's going on as far as what we're going to have on stream and everything, because again, pivotal battle with all 8 groups on the table, it's going to take way longer than what we can do on a Thursday night. So I have proposed, and I don't think we've absolutely confirmed, but we can confirm or end it here, that
Nick, you confirmed it, right? You called chaotic.
oh no, I set up the Sunday. Sunday we are
Okay, we are good.
Yeah, we're good on
Sunday,
Sunday.
yeah, Sunday at 10 a.m. we are gonna do the pivotal battle there. But what I'm talking about is for this coming Thursday. What I had proposed, and I don't know if we're all on board with this, is we are going to do what I'm calling training exercises, where the Empire is going to go against Empire ships and the Rebels are going to go against Rebels, just so that we can have something on the stream. I was going to go ahead and get the Rebels on the stream there and see how things go.
Yeah, we can do that if you want. I don't mind at all. But yeah, so that sounds fun for Thursday. So anyways, the Rebels based one location, and that was at what planet, Ruben?
Mustafar, right?
Mustafar. Yeah, for our resources,
said,
because
yeah.
we got a
So we have
resource
two
deficit.
resources now, finally.
We're coming for you now, baby. But every Imperial place on the map is a base.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Which is
ugh.
what?
It's
No.
going to be hard to dig out.
No half measures.
Super exciting. But man, yeah. So winning at Mandalore was like critical for Imperial strategy.
Yes.
It was like do or die basically at that point.
I'm very pleased with Nick on that winning that fight, because that relieves a big headache logistically for us fighting you guys continuously in Sector 1 with low fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the campaign point situation right now?
We're at 7, and I thought the
What'd you
Empire
say?
was at like
4?
3, 4. I don't know. I don't know how much. I haven't checked how much you get for winning at a non base location. I don't know if it's 1 or the printed amount.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah, I don't
I
know
know
if you
the-
get the printed amount on non-base.
Because the printed amount for bases, like for the pivotals, if you guys were to play Conquest, it would be 2 base plus the number of points on the planet.
Yeah.
So up to 4.
so
Technically.
that is what's next is the pivotal. So Nick,
hmm
what do you think? Have you made decisions?
We've made some decisions. So our team is going to be meeting on Thursday after we do our training exercises and discuss some final details. But I've been looking at a lot of information and a lot of the objectives, because so pivotal battles have a different objective suite. It's not going to be a regular game. We're going to choose one of these objectives. There's either conquest, a demonstration of force, or evacuation. And they all have like their own setup rules, their own like victory conditions and stuff like that. And so they all have like a different impact on the map. So like, for example, evacuation lets you take a base and move, like you literally pick it up and move it to another planet. So it could allow us to get into a sector that we didn't have access to. Because we were able to win that game at Mandalore, it's a lot less urgent for us to have to try to evacuate into Sector 1.
Yeah. You're in a much stronger position now.
Yes. So now we're able to kind of look at it a little differently and really digest, like, would conquest or demonstration of force be better to really try to like curb rebel presence in some sectors. So I want to talk with my team, though. I don't want to make every decision like kind of in a vacuum. Even
I
though
was just looking for hints. I just don't think you're going to evacuate. So
See, I already think I know the mission and plan, personally.
well, we'll see. Because I may surprise you by just not thinking about it at all.
That would
Hey,
surprise me.
We've been
Slap it
discussing
down.
it. But yeah, since we're behind, we are the ones that get to make the choice on which mission goes.
Which is going to make us, well, I guess depending, evacuation, I think even if you are you choose to be the defending player, but the other two objectives, you choose to be the assaulting player.
Yeah.
And
as the lead team, it's interesting. You know, we've had a little bit of a lag time because of a player getting sick. But I also read through all the pivotal battles. And with the loss at Mandalore, I think it's very specific what I would do in this situation, given the relative positions. But as like the the Grand Admiral for the team in the lead, like it's really hard to like really kind of guess because you can't plan anything because you don't really know what's happening. So you're gonna have to be like more flexible at deployment in the game to try and, you know, bootstrap up a strategy early. I was thinking of doing some more organizational stuff with how deployment works and the teams work, but with how the rules are stated, what I was thinking about isn't going to work. So actually, like
Yeah.
managing a whole team of people and trying to fly your stuff
It's
is
gonna be
going to be an
rough.
interesting dynamic
I think
to
the thing
play
is
a
we're gonna be
game.
using timed rules, which is we have to do it, and
Yes.
that's gonna create a lot of stress for some
Mhm.
players who can't. They get stuck in analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Because I get stuck in that sometimes too. And you're like, what do I do? And like you make a call, and then it's not the right call, but you're done, and it's time for the next guy to go. So, but I think this campaign's pretty cool. I think we're more neck and neck. After that Mandalore win,
The
it's
Mandalore one was a big turnaround.
It was.
yeah.
And I mean, it sounds like, based on all the losses that the Imperials have had, that we are in worse shape than what we actually are. The benefit is that we did start with all those resources that let us build bases rather than just have influence on places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Influence doesn't super matter, interestingly. Like, if you don't have the resources to consistently use your influence that you gain from winning games, you don't get multiplicative effects for your team.
Yeah,
Now,
it's really just a point of pride at this point.
we've gotten so many wins that we've had extra tokens to like really burst strength into our fleets. But like long-term wise, our bases and the disparity in resources means that every time we lose strategically, that planet's a lost cause. Now, I think maybe when we get to 250 point fleets, depending on which objective is the base objective, we might be able to start attacking and trying to dig planets out. And we'll come to a point where we're just going to have to start doing it because there's not going
Yeah.
to be anywhere left to do anything
Yeah.
else.
Right.
I'm really excited to see. Well, I'm excited for the pivotal. I mean, if we're gonna, we can keep going. I could talk about the pivotal for a half an hour. But yeah, moving forward with the campaign, as far as like the grand strategy of it, it's really hard to see a clear path on how resources early translate into success later. And I think, like how we were just saying, like we lost so many games. We had 2 weeks in a row where we went 1-3, and that sucked. But because of our resource advantage, because of because the big difference is that your bases give you resources every round.
Mm-hmm.
And so the presence you guys are putting down, even though you guys have red stickers all over the map, you're not getting like recurring resources from those like we are.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting. I really like how we have this like scrappy feel because like the Empire has this like slow building like force. Even though Rebels are getting a bunch of early wins, we'll have to see if you guys have the steam to kind of keep it going.
It does feel very thematic that the Empire would have the resources over the rebellion, and they're just trying to slap where they can.
Right. Well, I think now the map's at a point where, position-wise, everyone can attack and defend where they need to. There's no problems. I think now it's like you got to swing big to get campaign points, to bring it to a close. And
Now
the
what?
points are getting big.
Yeah,
Mine's already
we're at the
240
first
points at this point.
we're at the first pivotal battle. At what point do you hit the second pivotal battle?
So we will reset. So after this pivotal battle, we'll go to Act 2. And then when we get another team that gets another 6 points, we'll play another pivotal. I actually calculated how many games we're playing relative to other campaigns of smaller sizes, and it's very, very reasonable that we end our campaign at the pivotal of 2, because we'll have played basically like 80% of a 3-player game at that point, like a 3-member team, so a 6-player game. And for a 4-player campaign, we'd have played like way more than what they will ever play in that size of event. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
pretty good
really
amount. 8 to
sure.
9 weeks of gameplay is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking about how many weeks it is. I'm just enjoying every week as a new challenge. So
Yeah.
I'm really liking where this is going so far. I like that we get to build upon what we have.
hmm
Yeah.
I really like the only thing after we've done what, like about a month. The only like we've done a lot of changes to the rules to make the snowballing not happen as much, which I think has been pretty successful. We've done a lot of changes to how many we do points because we're playing with 8 players instead of 6. A lot of Ion Radio's rules to get some of the tokens more in line with each other. So we're playing a very different game than the stock game, and so far I've been pretty like content with everything strategically except the Diplomat's token. Like,
And I don't even know if that's like a. I think that's just a
like
gameplay
It's
thing.
just
I've
what it
only
is.
figured out one instance where that stupid token is useful, and that's it.
Maybe in lower player campaigns.
Like
Well,
the only
let's go ahead and define what the diplomat's supposed to do.
so the diplomat token, what it does is at the beginning of the strategy phase, so before anybody declares any attacks, a team can take a diplomat token, put it in a region, and say, if the opponent assaults any planets in this region, they get low morale. The issue, obviously, is that they're just going to go attack somewhere else.
Yeah.
The
So
only thing,
you have to know if your opponent really needs to fight you in a sector.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how it works, right? Let's go back to the very beginning of the campaign. I opened with resources, diplomats, and skilled spacers and Spynet. Diplomats, skilled spacers, Spynet as my like opening resources for my 3 planets. Diplomats has been totally useless. If we play this again, take 2 resources. It's just so critical that I think a good opening for this is 2 resources and a thing. Now, now that we're in this part of the game, I've come to the realization that the only way to get this stupid diplomats token to work is if the opponent has cut you out of a region where you would take low fuel, then you just diplomats it and go, oh, well, okay. Yeah, you assault there to make me go defend it. Sure, you'll have low morale. I'll have low fuel. Do you want to do that? And that's the only way I've figured out how to use this token. All the rest of
Yeah.
the stuff has been pretty good.
I agree. And I think the developers kind of knew that too, because there's actually not a single planet where diplomats is the only option. Because I think at some point in the game, it's just you would never take that when you could take skilled spacers.
Yeah.
Or Destiny. I mean, because we haven't even. I don't think none of
haven't
us have
seen it.
Destiny,
Destiny token. Yeah.
and Ally finally has an opportunity to appear, but
Yeah.
Nick's got a choice
Man.
to make. He only gets one: Ally or repair tokens. Repair yards. Yeah.
I think I know what we're taking.
The Destiny token would be so good. 2 dials on a ship. It's nuts.
Yeah, so the Destiny token, I was just on that page and I lost it.
There's only 4 Destiny tokens in the map.
Oh yeah, so during a battle, a player may spend a Destiny token to, while a ship or squadron attacking or defending, it may change 1 die to any face icon. Or when a friendly ship reveals a command dial, it may gain 1 additional dial to set to any command. And those are both really good.
They're both
Yeah.
It's
pretty
so
good.
game changing. Yeah. So you have to take Tatooine, Dagobah, Adelon, and Dathomir. Those are the only 4 planets that would give you a Destiny token.
Yep.
And they don't offer really much else. That's
Mhm.
kind of why.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's something you attack and like you don't care whether you're not like well you take the win and you don't base it, but you have the Destiny token for that one time where you need to go send somebody to go murder something real bad.
Yeah.
I've also found the Spynet token kind of useless, but it's mostly because I think it's better in Imperials than our fleets. Because even in my
Yeah.
game, like I used it and I was like, well, I mean, it's okay, I guess.
I would say it's important when you're out deployed, right? And in the way we have our list kind of built, the Imperials tend to be out deployed by the rebels.
It lets you redeploy. That's what the token does, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. They're so Imperials just don't have that many ships, and as a player, I have the foresight to be like, he's probably going there, kind of at the beginning.
Yeah.
Especially with these green objectives. These
Well, I was
green
gonna say
objectives
the
are
map is only
punishing.
3x3.
Yeah. There's not many places to
Well,
go
and-
anyway.
Yeah.
And like in our game, Ruben, I put the station in a corner, and then I put the interdictor right in front of it. It's like,
And I go,
do you want to? Do you redeploy? I mean,
where could he be going? I wonder.
Well,
But,
with that, I think we've kind of covered everything that happened this week.
And more.
Yeah.
and more.
So a reminder of what else we've got going on with the campaign here. While Thursday is technically not part of the campaign, it is going to be a training session. So we'll have one of the matchups going on there from our fleets for this game. And then on Sunday, we will have the pivotal battle. Now one thing that I want to point out on that pivotal battle, from a technical standpoint, we are not going to have a dice cam for that. Reason being is that there is no way that all 8 players could use that one dice tray. So I don't know if I will figure anything out to help you figure out what the dice rolls are going to be, other than maybe saying it when we do them. But
It's going to be a challenge.
yeah,
We're not
The
gonna
after
go
action report will be important.
yeah.
we're not going multi-cam ESPN dice tray, Chris.
No, the setup does not work very well with too many cameras. I've tried it before, and so it's not gonna work out that way. We are just gonna have to do what we have to do and let everybody figure out what's going on during the course of the battle.
Yeah, should be good. The audio Thursday night was really good between Jeff and Nick. Like I could hear everything.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah,
And
I
that was
really,
with the Star Wars Unlimited guys in the background. With the new cards.
I really, really like the new mic. It helps me kind of keep out the background noise and focus on what's going on at the table. But
Yeah.
I will thank you guys for being on tonight. I've got a few closing notes for everybody. Oh,
If we play training stuff, we should reveal our new upgrades.
no. I pretty much agree
I'm
with that.
keeping my friend on speed dial.
We've already discussed that in our
All right,
our
'cause I was
encrypted
gonna tell
Imperial
all my,
comms.
all my
Yeah,
commanders the same thing.
yeah. There will be secrets.
Yep.
But anyway, I want to thank you guys again for being on the show tonight, and hopefully, while the main after action report is probably going to be devoted to X-Wing next week, we are going to do a after action report on the pivotal battle, just so that everybody can see what's going on. That'll probably be recorded and not streamed, so be ready for that. We'll have to figure out when we're going to do it.
I think we're
Definitely
gonna
take
do
notes.
we're gonna do the it's gonna be like your Super Bowl, Chris. You're gonna have your big microphone, and like as soon as the game is over, you're gonna pull us aside and be like, "All right, so we're
So
sweating."
what were you thinking in
I
this
just want to
moment?
thank my parents, and I love my coaches, and go Rebel Alliance.
Look,
Yeah.
I couldn't have done this without my team. We sportsed as hard as we could, and we just sportsed a little bit better than the other team, so we
got
were
ball
able.
in the goal goal. Yeah.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Goodbye.
Thanks for having us.
All right. So let me get this back to me, and want to thank you again for being part of the show, for watching tonight. I hope you're looking forward to what we've got going on. I know last week I did not have Tuesday Night X-Wing. I was not feeling terribly well, so I had to forego it, but we will be having Tuesday Night X-Wing tomorrow night. Not sure who we're going to have on the stream, but after that, I'm trying to get together with Chris and the other Chris. Yes, there are so many Chris's in our group. and discuss how we are going to set up the X-Wing campaign that we are working on. Had so much fun with the Armada campaign, I felt like it was going to be necessary to go ahead and do that. So we are working on a system on our own because I've looked up online a lot of different systems for X-Wing campaigns, and I'm just not really happy with any of them that I've seen. So I figure it's going to be better if we come up with our own rules on that. Won't have that going on Tuesday. We'll have regular people are getting ready for Worlds, so you'll get to see some Worlds prep going on Tuesday. But we will be probably on the next After Action report discussing some of the ideas that we're throwing out there for the X-Wing campaign. As for this campaign for the Rebellion in the Rim, again, Thursday is not really going to be part of the campaign per se, but we are going to be flying fleets that we are flying in the campaign against teammates so that we can just get a little bit more practice on that. So I'll have one of those up on the stream. And then Sunday, 10 a.m., we will do the stream of the pivotal battle at the end of Act 1 for Rebellion in the Rim. So we're really looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to join us on the Discord. You can join us on Facebook. Ask us whatever you want to ask us, because we will be happy to answer everything that is not top secret information, things that we don't want to share with the opposing side. Thank you for watching tonight. I hope you have a great week, and we will catch you again next Monday.